Fair bit of action around us. We're getting some pretty good reports rolling in for quite a few areas. What's happening at the moment? This is the final day of the cod season, as pretty well most of you know. For those that don't, it is the final day of the cod season, so if you do catch a cod between now and the 1st of December, you must release it as quickly as possible. Also, it's the final day of the cray season, so if you want to catch a cray or a cod, you better get out there today. Some of you can, some can't. But we're getting a lot of activity and a lot of reports from quite a few areas in regards to the trout scene. Dartmouth Dam. Quite a few people starting to use a little bit of lead line there now. They're getting down a little bit deeper and they're having quite a bit of success. But in saying that, flatline trolling is still quite productive. Mainly when just using a few minnow body lures. The old wing lure like the Cobra, the Tassie, they're all doing quite nicely, but a little bit more depth is pretty handy, especially if it's glassy calm on the surface. Just keep that one in mind. Hume Weir, boy, did I get some good reports from there this week. It's a lot of trout getting caught in the main basin and up the Tallangatta Arm like we mentioned, but they seem to be spread out a bit now. Getting some pretty good reports from that Bowner area, so anybody from the Wagga area, it's a pretty quick drive down there, now 20 minutes you're on the water pretty well, and getting some very nice trout, big browns, up to about 6 pounds, so very consistent there. Minnow bodied lures are doing the job, and I do suggest try a minnow bodied lure rather than a wing lure, because getting down a little bit more depth, they're picking up the odd good redfin as well. Not a lot, but the odd good redfin. And there's been quite a few cod caught, which surprises me. Don't forget though, don't target them this time of year. Small lures is the way to go. Below the weir, in the Murray River, they're getting a few trout. We're really happy with that. Moala, I haven't had too many good reports from, but you know, not to say it's not firing. Well, it's not firing, we know that, but not to say you won't catch a fish if you go down there. You probably will. The Murrumbidgee River here starting to shape up nicely. A few fish out of the creek, a few fish out of the channel, and also a few out of the river. Yellowbelly should start soon. I would be trying below the weirs, just below Berrenbed Weir should be good. The northern side's still closed, so give the southern side a bit of a hit. But if you go down to the dairy, put your boat in there, you can come up to the weir. It's a bit of a trip, but it's certainly worth the effort, and they're getting a few good fish out of that without too much trouble. I reckon it'll really fire up in the next week or so. Blowering Dam, some good reports out of Blowering. The cod have been good this season. It's been an amazing cod fishing season there. Yes, you do have to put in a lot of casts and that. There's not too many places in Australia where you can get numbers of big cod like you can out of Blowering. Copeton's probably the only exception. Burrinjuck's not too bad at times, but Blowering was pretty well number one. It really fired up. Still getting good redfin out of there, some nice trout, and it'll continue. Now, off the bank with worms for yellowbelly, very good fishing. That's going to be constant now for the next month or so, I'd say, but the lure fishing should come into its own shortly as far as the yellows go. Little shallow running nilsies, bullet lures, anything of that nature, I think you'll cover the options pretty well. Tentangra, Yukonbean, Jindabyne, all fishing reasonable. Yukonbean's the standout up there. Jindabyne, you've got to put in a fair bit of effort. Tentangra, yeah, it's still a bit cold to slip across there, but yeah, some good days, some not so good. But you get good weather at Uke, you should do exceptionally well. So as you can see, we've got a fair bit of activity out there. If you want an in-depth report of somewhere that I haven't mentioned, or even places I haven't mentioned, give us a tingle at the shop and I'll give you a rundown. This is the Compleat English Fish Report. We'll catch you next week.